going on, everyone? Welcome back to the You Like That podcast. Join with me. My name is Adam. I'm one half of the You Like That podcast.
My name's Jack. I'm the other half of the You Like That podcast. That was so disconcerting.
Everything. This whole lead up has just been an absolute nightmare. I've spent the last almost an hour trying to get my computer to work to be able to get this started and recorded. And then I just gave the most abysmal clap to start off an episode. You probably won't hear because noise cancelling is the thing.
It was like the atomic blast in Oppenheimer, funnily enough, because like I saw something happen. I saw the impact. I saw this visceral, like really harrowing contact and impact. But the sound just disappeared.
Yeah,
all the sound in my headphones got sucked away.
Just not there. So, audio listeners, you don't have to worry about any of that. To our visual watchers, my apologies, but you know how it is. It's just what we do on this show. Guys, welcome back for another week. This week we are diving into something big that I had a lot of hopes for.
What movie are we doing?
We are doing Godzilla X, the New Empire.
It wasn't even that long ago.
It really wasn't. We literally only watched it 3 days ago, if that. I don't even know what day it is right now. I don't know.
I have no idea. It's a holiday weekend, so like time means nothing.
It's a long weekend. I got like a day flu on Friday, and it completely ruined me. And now I don't know where I am or what day it is. But I know that Thursday I got to see this movie, and then also got to hit up Shelley's at the end of the night and win myself $600. So that was
nice.
That was a great end to that night for me. And then it just skyrocketed into, oh, you're now sick as a fucking dog.
You can't have one without the other.
Can't have one without the other. But Jack, how you been, mate?
Yeah, same old. I had that day flu like 2 weeks ago. It's fucking brutal, and literally, just a day, knocks you on your ass.
It just,
I haven't done much. I watched Anyone But You, that romantic comedy that's just nobody expected to be good, but it's been in theaters for about 4 months because people just keep seeing it and spending money on it. It's good. It's definitely worth a watch. A bit light on the comedy. It's more heavy on just a straightforward rom. Definitely worth a watch. I liked it. What else did I watch? Godzilla vs. Kong, I guess. That's about it.
Yeah, which is what we're here for.
What about yourself, Adam?
As we spoke to before, I finally got around to watching Oppenheimer, which, as we're discussing, it's a film you can definitely only watch once.
Yeah.
Because it contains every single actor known to man, and it is an absolute spectacle, but by God, 3 hours of talking is a lot.
Yeah, it's like sitting down and reading a textbook for fun.
Yeah, basically. And no, great movie. Definitely great movie.
Incredible movie, yeah.
But yeah, put that one on the back burner and just be like, you've seen it. You're not going to have a movie night with friends to be like, you know what? Let's all watch Oppenheimer.
Yeah. And then we both watched a movie that inspired you to change your entire outfit.
Exactly right. Roadhouse. We both went and watched the new Jake Gyllenhaal, Conor McGregor Roadhouse movie. We thought we might just give a quick little thoughts on that movie before we get into the into the main source here. So Roadhouse, obviously it's a reboot of the 1988, 89.
Yeah, apparently has very little to do with it.
It's very loose, very loosely based. It's this version, Jake Gyllenhaal's was an old UFC fighter. Swayze's was just
a guy,
a guy who could fight.
Yeah,
I guess I never saw the original, but
no, I've never seen
it. Very loosely based. So yeah, this one's starring Jake Gyllenhaal, or should we say Jacked Gyllenhaal? Because
the man is fucking yoked.
Absolute fucking beast of a man.
Yeah.
And Conor McGregor making his film debut, and got a lot of thoughts on that. But it's a 59%, 55% Rotten Tomato score, so it's a very, very, very mid movie. Directed by Doug Liman, who did do Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Jumper, Edge of Tomorrow. Dude had a big list of movies that he's done. But Jack, I'll let you start off with what your thoughts of Roadhouse was.
It's really bad, but I liked it. It's a shockingly. You can tell why it didn't get a cinematic release because nobody on Earth would have seen it.
No.
Or at least spent money on it. Um, yeah, it's just so mid is the right word for it. It leaves no impression. But I laughed out loud a couple of times, and it's short. It's mercifully short, so
Yeah.
it's fine. It's fine. It's not great.
Yeah.
It's
It's
not kino cinema, but it's just dumb fun.
yeah, it's literally like a very dumbed down Fast and Furious movie where
Yeah,
it's just a couple of fights, but it's it's definitely just like the most mid-range fighting action movie you could find. The acting is subpar um, from everyone. Uh,
yeah. No one in it is good.
no one in it sort of takes anything seriously. Um, the biggest gripe that I find a lot of people also said is the use of CGI in the fights.
Yeah, it's some new technology where they're punching green screen bags or something.
Yeah, it's between that and then them also not connecting their hits, which in any movie that's just what action
You expect
sequences
that,
happen
but
to.
yeah.
But theirs is just it just you can see where the cuts are,
Mm.
and it
And
just
there are
doesn't
a lot of
look
cuts.
good.
Like the direction of the action sequences is not good.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like,
It's
Doug
a bit
Liman's
choppy.
done a lot of films with big budgets and some big fight scenes and that look great. And then this was like, yeah, no, we don't want it to look anything like a real fight whatsoever.
No.
But I give the highest props in this movie to Conor McGregor
Yeah,
because
he's clearly whatever.
either people in this movie loved his shit acting or they hated it because it was shit acting. But
Yeah,
I think in this movie, he was just the most perfect, unhinged cartoon villain
yeah.
you'll ever
He's
find.
like Jason Momoa in Fast X, but not even looking at the script. Like there is no way a director or words on a page told him to do what he's doing in this movie. It's
Yeah,
insane. It's
it,
absolutely
it,
insane.
it was so crazy, but like every time he just was on screen, I just it couldn't help but laugh at just
Yeah.
his amazing thick Irish accent and just just some of the shit he did is just so silly. It's just the biggest cartoon villain where I just said, you know what? If they were to keep making Fast and Furious movies, he's 100% the next villain.
Yeah. I think without him, this would have been such a waste of time, and I genuinely would have hated it.
Yeah, 100%.
But in my eyes, it's a one-star movie that you like.
Yeah,
it's just a bit fun
you
because
just
of
watch for
Conor
the fun of
McGregor.
it.
Yeah.
It's got like it's no plot whatsoever. Like
Oh
when you
God,
think
no.
about like there are no stakes other than it's barely even said in the movie that the guy that like he wants to get rid of this roadhouse just to develop
Another Roadhouse,
a
but like a
property. Like
hotel,
yeah,
like a hotel that's called the Roadhouse.
yeah,
Um, yeah, they try. Like they have that scene with Ratcatcher too. What's her name? Daniela Melchior.
something like
Daniela
that. Yeah,
Melchior. And they almost go into their backstories and stuff, but then he's just like, no, I can't talk about it. And then the scene just ends.
yeah. And like they really didn't want to give anyone a backstory in this. Like they show like the quick little jumps to Gyllenhaal's like UFC career and that,
Yeah.
and sort of tease that oh his last fight was with someone who I guess was his friend, but he then went too far and I guess killed him
Yeah.
is what it sort of
Yeah,
alluded to.
they never say it, but he accidentally kills him because he has this rage that like he can't control once it takes over. And apparently that's what Conor McGregor makes him do. But again, it's
Yeah,
not
but
really explained.
it's just like yeah, it's there, but we're not going to expand on it in any way, shape,
Yeah.
or form. Um, but yeah, it's just a very mid movie. If you want to watch it, it's on Amazon Prime.
A couple of
Uh,
good jokes.
there's some
But
good little scenes in there. It's
yeah.
just don't watch it if you want to watch a movie and
No.
have it. Just if you got some spare time, give it a watch and just be like, yeah, all right, that was pretty stupid, but I didn't hate my time with it.
No.
But yeah, all right, let's get into the main one that I know you're so dying to talk about here.
Am
Uh,
I?
Godzilla Kong, the New Empire, is the latest in the Monsterverse series of movies here, in which we are getting Godzilla and Kong linking up once again to take down some big bad monsters and save the Hollow Earth once again. So jumping in, this has a Rotten Tomato score of 55% with the critics, but a 92% with the audience. boasting very similar to the Godzilla versus Kong movie, which was a bit higher with the critics. It was about a 76 to a 91%.
Which you blew
Audience,
my mind with that it came out 3 years ago. That's
yeah,
insane. I swear
yeah,
it was yesterday.
nearly to the day 3 years ago is when we
Yeah.
did Godzilla versus Kong.
Time just got sucked away, man.
Really did.
Crazy.
So directed by Adam Wingard once again, who did Godzilla versus Kong. This is resting against a $135 million budget. Not the biggest budget, I'd say. You've seen Marvel
No.
movies use a lot more than this, and this
Indiana
is
Jones
something.
5 was like 300 or something fucking
Yeah,
crazy.
which is crazy when this movie was very, very heavily reliant on the use of CGI for all the monsters that were used. Hollow Earth itself. I think 135 mil is pretty conservative for a
Mm-hmm.
movie of this caliber.
Yep.
But jumping into it, we all want to know, Jack. uh, how'd you find this movie, Jack?
Let me answer your question with a question myself. What do you think I thought of this movie, Adam?
We spoke about this before anything, and I
We
was
weren't gonna, but it was hard not to.
it was very, very, very hard not to. We saw it on the same day, so we both were putting up our letterbox reviews within a 45-minute interval of each other anyway. And I saw your review sitting there just glowing, and I was hoping for a little bit more. I knew that you wouldn't love this movie, but I was hoping for
We
at
all knew that.
least I was hoping for at least like maybe like a 2-star review from you, and just like you might have found something that you
No,
liked out of most of the Monsterverse films. But
no.
ultimately, Jack, what did you really think?
King Kong looks really good, and I like that. Godzilla's still just a jerk,
Yeah.
like just no regard for anything. He's just a dick. I like that. I hated this movie. I fucking despised everything about this movie. I don't know how people can dunk on Transformers and then watch this and go, this isn't the exact same fucking thing. Even with the Chinese pop star shoehorned in because it needs to be big in China, like they do that as well.
Hmm.
The human stuff is miserable to sit through. CG is really good. Like it looks incredible. And you have to assume that most of the budget went to that because fuck me, even the Hollow Earth stuff, even when it's just a fully CG plane,
Yeah.
looks incredible, man. Like it's such a fucking cool world they've built. Um, and then yeah, there's no real villain. Like it's just a slightly smaller monkey, and he doesn't. I don't remember what he wants to do. Oh, the ice dragon is. I don't know. Whatever. I fucking hated it. I hated this movie. And I hated it heaps more than I hated the last one. But the last one I liked slightly more than this, but still hated.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So basically, big Monsterverse movies is just not a Jack. It's just
No,
not a
it's
Jack
not.
type
Yeah,
of
it is not
area
for
for
me.
you. And I get it. I get it. It's that it's an acquired taste. It's something that I something that's been dominated by the Japanese world for over 70 years now, and for America to try and take it within the last 10 years and make it something bigger and more spectacular is just something that's always going to struggle because for the Western audiences that never sort of got around with the original Godzillas for its whole span of time in Japan, it sort of developed more of a culty following
Hmm.
in the English speaking world.
And it's sort of spun its wheels a bit because we got Godzilla 1998, which people
Hmm,
do not like, and rightfully so. It's not a very good movie. It's not a
exactly
Godzilla
right.
movie because
Yeah,
it's.
I mean we're like people can call it that, but at the end of the day, it's just another iteration. But
Yeah,
again, that's the Western world trying to
and then we
dig its
got
claws in.
and then we got Gareth Edwards' take on Godzilla in 2014,
Hmm.
where Godzilla's in it for like 8 minutes or something. I don't know. I
10
don't remember.
minutes, 10
Yeah, I
minutes
don't
against
remember.
a 132-minute runtime.
And people didn't like that because the trailer showed, Godzilla looks incredible. They finally got the design right in America, like, and then he's not in it, and people didn't like that at all. So it's sort of Godzilla has spun his wheels a bit. King Kong's
Yeah.
had a better time of it. At the time, people didn't like the Peter Jackson one, but people have come around to it, and so
I always loved Peter Jackson's
yeah,
King
it's
Kong.
sort of got this
That's
cult
one of my
following.
favorite movies. I
Yeah,
absolutely love
it's
that
a
movie.
great movie. And then we got Kong Skull Island, which is the best one of any of these, and just a
Yeah,
really fucking good movie. So
and that's it. I feel like the Western world has taken a custom to King Kong uh, tenfold more than Godzilla.
He just
Uh,
got better movies. It's as simple as that.
yeah, it's just like they just found a better way to incorporate that,
Yeah.
and like these movies will keep going in this Western world
Hmm.
with this new Monsterverse that they're creating.
And we've got Monarch, but it's on a streaming service no one has. It's on Apple TV Plus. Like nobody's watching that.
Yeah, I'm only a few episodes
Yeah.
into it.
It's apparently
It's a great show. It's a really really good show. When you have both of the Russells both
yeah,
coming in and playing like the younger version and older version of the same character, you're like
yeah.
that's perfect as it is.
It's well done. Yeah.
To get White and then Kurt to do that shit, incredible, great show, really good show. It's just trying to expand upon the MonsterVerse itself.
Mhm.
So for me, I really enjoyed this movie, as most people would have expected. It's again the human aspect of this story is it doesn't need to be a thing, and they will never get it right. Um, just because I don't know what it is about America making movies that they really want the human story to like be more compelling than anything else that's happening in the movies.
Mhm.
But they did dumb it down a lot in comparison to the other movies that we've gotten in, Godzilla 2014, uh, Godzilla vs. Kong, King of the Monsters, all that.
I
This
will
is
say
definitely
this
the
is better
less.
than King of the Monsters. I still like this more than King of the Monsters.
Well, okay.
And this is a half star movie for me. So tell that about what you will. But yeah, they trimmed the
Yeah,
cast way down. They
yeah,
just put heaps less humans in it.
what I liked about that the most is that they took it sort of away from like the surface world and just
Yeah,
made it
yeah.
more. They went human side, but Hollow Earth, and go, oh look, the Iwi tribe are still here, further in the Hollow Earth. So you're like,
Yeah.
all right, so it's a human story, but it's not like human
It's way more
story.
fantastical. It's more
Yeah,
you
it's
can you can go, oh yeah, Titans and all this shit exists because it's in the Hollow Earth, which is already, a silly concept. So let's just lean into it. Let's lean into how silly it is
yeah,
and create this whole other lore with
yeah,
this tribe and shit. And you can just do more with it.
yeah. So the the thing with this is Kong is the reigning star of this movie.
Yeah. He gets
He
the most screen time.
has an incredible amount of screen time. Godzilla gets not a lot. I think I saw the tally. It was Godzilla has 7.5 minutes of screen time in this movie,
Mm-hmm.
which is the lowest out of any Western Godzilla film that's come out
Yeah.
in the last 10 years. Um, Mind you, when he's been used in this movie, it looks absolutely amazing. Um,
The
uh,
sense of scale is always so cool with these. Like when the cameras on the ground, like news footage or whatever, just looking up at Godzilla, it's just like, holy
yeah,
shit.
it,
It always looks so cool.
it's all really crazy. And the step in direction that I see they're taking with this is they are trying to make it more monster centric and also try to bring in a little bit more of the campiness of the original Japanese movies here in the way that the Titans are fighting each other. So if we look at comparison between Godzilla 2014 to Godzilla in this movie, Godzilla 2014, slow moving, not fast paced. He was a very, he had his atomic breath and that, but he wasn't doing what we saw in this with running,
And it was
jumping.
in darkness the whole you never really saw all of him
Yeah,
because it was in
it was a
darkness.
very, very dark movie. In this one, you see that comparison jump of uh, straight up there, the lighting differences. This is all
All broad
as
daylight,
as
this entire movie.
as daylight as you can ever get it.
Which is sick.
Um, which looks amazing.
Oh, it's
As
incredible.
as you said, the CG in this movie is incredibly well done.
Yeah. The
The, the,
opening shots of Kong, like when it's just like shoulders up and
yeah,
he's emoting or whatever, it just looks insane, man.
the color spectrums that they use is ridiculous. As I said, the Hollow Earth is probably one of the best looking like made up worlds I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
Because it's got so much going on.
And it
It's like
genuinely gives you vertigo because like there's two floors.
Yeah, it's
Like
literally
it's like
it's a
spinning
mirrored
around.
world. It's a
Yeah.
mirrored world where you go up high enough and then bang, you flip over and you're on this new plane and you're like, the
Yeah.
fuck, this is
There's
weird as
some really
shit.
great shots in this movie playing with that,
Yeah,
jumping through wormholes and shit.
yeah. But yeah, so with the campiness in this movie and the way that they're all fighting and that, like, there's a lot of things that Godzilla does in this film where, uh, we didn't say it before, but heavy spoilers throughout this right now.
Oh yeah.
Um, Godzilla full does an Assassin's Creed leap of faith off the top of a fucking mountain
Yeah.
and just Olympic dives into the water, which I gushed over because I'm like, that's so stupid. I fucking love it. Um, but he's got the he's got the burners on in this one here. He's strapped up the Air Jordans and he's making pace on a couple of these runs that he's doing.
Yeah. People made fun of it in the trailer. He's like sprinting alongside Kong.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah, literally.
motherfucker. He's been doing his cardio.
He's been doing it and he's been
Well,
doing it fucking
he
well.
suplexes Kong.
He literally did a fucking German suplex. And I saw that and I was like, oh, this is the greatest thing I've ever fucking seen in my life because you're actually now getting like proper like Godzilla fights. And to a lot of people when they see that and they go, oh, this is stupid. This is not how Godzilla moves and that. And you just go watch Toho. Go watch
Yeah.
Toho Godzilla and you tell me that this isn't normal Godzilla fucking fighting style. Because it used to be a lot stupider back in the day. And there was some really, really weird things that would happen in those movies. They're just now trying to incorporate that into this modern day. It's just getting caught up in this in this Western civilized world where people want this movie, but they don't know how they want it.
Yeah.
And it's never going to get delivered properly. It's always going to be torn between critics and audiences where it's going to appeal to some people, but it's not going to appeal to the majority. And it's going to do numbers, but it's always going to be that movie franchise that's going to be shadowed by, is it? It's not on like Avengers level where a mass majority of people are going to absolutely gush over this movie because
you have the masses who go King Kong using a smaller monkey as a weapon is really stupid, and then it goes into the people stuff and they're going to go, well, this is badly written and boring and none of the characters are likable.
Yeah,
but then you got people like me who go, fuck me, this looks good, like the CG, everything looks incredible. I quite like it when King Kong picks up a smaller monkey and uses and brandishes him as a weapon. But the people stuff is so bad and so poorly written that I just can't vibe with it at all.
And that's where it's going to get lost in the sauce for
and there
a
is
lot of people.
No one on this planet who wants to know how Rebecca Hall's character is doing.
No,
nobody's going to see it to be like, oh, I wonder why she has that haircut.
No,
why did they give her that haircut, Adam? How many managers did she ask to speak to?
Yeah, she went to Adam Wingard and went, the only way I'm coming back to do this film is if you give me a fucking haircut. I want
that. You chuck a cereal bowl on my head.
But like from everyone, from everyone I follow online on X and Instagram and all that, not a single person has had anything nice to say about the human plot points in any of these movies that have come.
But it's still been very positive overall.
Yeah, like most of the people that I see, like they all love these films, but it's like it's still it's just not there yet.
Yeah, and it's not entry level. Nobody's gonna get on board for this one.
Yeah, and like the only way I can see these movies sort of breaking the mold and like redefining the Monsterverse world is to just sort of have monsters fighting and just doing monster stuff. Because you can see, like, especially with Kong, you can do a lot with Kong without having any dialogue.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that Kong does and just his mannerisms and the way he moves and all that, you can have a lot of Kong with zero dialogue. And
there's a bit of, there's like slapstick with him now, like when he thinks he's defeated all the bad guys and then the bad guys run up, he almost like looks at the camera and goes, like he does stuff like that in this movie. There was a kid in my session. He was probably 10, 11 maybe.
Mhm.
And in that first scene when Kong breaks the monster over him and he pours blood all over
Yeah,
himself,
yeah,
the kid was fucking terrified. Like he grabbed onto his mum and he wasn't watching. I was like, oh, he's not
yeah.
going to make it. But then towards the middle, when in the pyramid fight with Godzilla and Kong, he was cheering and he was like edge of his seat, fucking hell yeah, sipping his Coke and stuff. So like it eased him in. And I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe that's what this thing is about. Maybe it's an entry level to, it's a stretch to say an entry level to horror, but like it won that kid over. It scared him real bad and then it won him over. And I
Mm.
don't know how they did it, but fucking that's why
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
make movies.
Exactly. And it might be trying to try to bring younger audiences with having such a vibrant, bright color look. And
Yeah.
like you can take your kids to these movies. Like
Yeah,
this isn't.
100%. I guess that was my point of that story. It was a bit of a point of the story. But yeah, it's like, it's not MA.
Yeah,
Like
no,
you can
like
take
it's
kids.
it's not crossing a line where it's like, oh yeah, like this probably isn't good for a kid.
Yeah.
But it's also sitting there like adults can really enjoy this, but so can your kids. It's
Mm.
it's it's doing well to sort of like have that middle ground.
Because when you
And
think about the damage Godzilla is doing and how many collateral deaths
yeah,
there are in just Godzilla swinging his tail around, you're like, oh, that's horrifying. But a
yeah,
kid's just like, yeah, smash your building.
yeah, 100%. It's smash it down, bring it down. This is
Yeah,
mad.
fucking no.
Um, so yeah, if we look at the plot as a whole for this movie, so um, the Godzilla and Kong are teaming up once again because I guess the quote unquote big bad of this film is Scar King, the monkey lord, um, further into the Hollow Earth with another tribe of massive apes as well. Something that Kong's been longing to find, uh, family to call his own, and turns out it's just a skinny monkey man who's partially blind, I think, and can control this ancient lizard god Shimo. It's basically just an ice dragon,
Yep.
and isn't really a bad monster in itself. It's being controlled by whatever this shard is that Scar King has on the end of his spinal skeletal whip.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know if it's a piece of Shimo or if it's something that could be a MacGuffin for further movies.
They don't explain it.
Don't explain it, so it's sort of up in the air for interpretation there. But he can control it to do his bidding, and he basically just wants to get out of the Hollow Earth and up onto the real world, I guess, and fuck over as many
Yeah,
people as.
what so it's really badly explained in that horrible exposition dump where Rebecca Hall's in that room
Mhm.
and she touches the floor and she's like, oh, I can read all of this. Can you?
Yeah,
Why?
because she's been studying the
Why?
Iwi tribe, and it's just like,
Like, how do you just know? And anyway, and they explain it.
especially the names, like when she knows that it's like he's
Yeah.
called Scar King, and there's this
And she
other
knows their
dragon called
motivations and
Shimo.
shit. It's just like, okay,
Yeah,
there's no way it says all of that, but okay, go off this.
yeah,
Um, so I think she mentioned the first Ice Age was Shimo, what's his
yeah,
name?
yeah,
SpongeBob.
Shimo.
Um, accidentally did the first Ice Age, or maybe did it on purpose. I don't fucking know. They don't
Yeah,
explain it.
it's weird. It just might
But
have
I
been a
think the
thing.
Scar King just wants to rule another world, I guess, because he's not really ruling this one. Mothra
Yeah,
kind of is. Oh no, Mothra's not. Mothra's. Oh my god,
Mothra is
Mothra's
queen of
asleep.
the monsters.
Yeah, but she's asleep, and only the little New Zealandy kid can
Yeah,
wake her up.
yeah, yeah. But it's cool to have Queen Mothra back. Looks sick. Um, but yeah, like that's really the way we got told this plot
That's
and
how it's told in the movie.
why everything's happening, and you still,
Yeah,
as you said, you listen to it and you go, "Hmm, okay,
and it's just 80-yard exposition because clearly when they were putting the movie together, they were like, "Oh fuck, we forgot to do this."
yeah,
Call Rebecca Hall, just get her on the blower, read some shit, and even like when they find the tribe, this tribe has never seen human beings ever. They're not that alarmed. They can understand English. for no
Yeah,
reason.
the
Anthony, no,
telepathic.
not Anthony Anderson. Brian Tyree Henry.
I love Brian Tyree Henry so much.
He's doing his best, but he says something, and they're like, "They can understand you, Can they? Why?
Yeah,
They've been
it's
in a
like
hollow
how?
earth and never interact. Okay,
Yeah.
fine,
Okay, sure.
fine, whatever.
Whatever you say.
If we're going along with a big monkey and a big lizard, why not?
Yeah, exactly right. So yeah, the plot itself in this movie is very thin, very dry, and I think that's sort of the biggest downfall for all these MonsterVerse movies is just the fact that they don't know where to take these movies and how to sort of create a valid plot that's one easy to um explain and then to also demonstrate as well.
And
And
it's hard to get a villain out of it when Godzilla's the perfect villain. Like King Kong's the good guy now. It's firmly established he is a good
yeah,
guy and it's just homies with the people and just generally wants the best for both himself and his little human homies.
yeah, literally,
And
like,
Godzilla's just a cunt. He's just like, I want more power. I want more radiation. I'm
well,
going to tear this razor dragon in half. So
I think it's more Godzilla's just very neutral, and he will help out if needed, but he also doesn't give a fuck if he destroys
yeah,
everything while doing it.
yeah,
His whole thing is just he wants to rule the like Earth as a whole, and
yeah.
if anyone threatens him to that power, then he will fuck him up. Um, and he doesn't care if he has to demolish to 3,000 cities in the process.
Yeah. And the
Just as long as
second
no one
he sees
challenges him.
Kong, it's on site. It's on site. He doesn't.
Which,
Kong
which,
doesn't even get a
which,
chance to explain himself. He's
which
just like,
was
"Fucking,
fucking
let's go."
hilarious. I did absolutely fucking love that when Kong comes up through that new hole in fucking Egypt, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna get Godzilla, bring him down here." And
And that's
literally,
what, yeah. And
yeah, Godzilla's just like, "The fuck are you doing back up here, cunt? I thought we had a
like
fucking deal," and then bang,
Kong comes as close to going like that as he possibly can without it being like a
literally,
farce.
yeah,
Like he literally puts his hands up. He's like trying to be like, "Hey man, just fucking chill. Like we're at the same club, man."
yeah.
Um, yeah, but it's on site. Godzilla just fucking goes for it.
100%. He's like, I fucking told you last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fucking helped me, but that's it. You have your world, I have mine. Fuck you. And
I
then
enjoyed
bang,
that. That was funny.
bang,
Yeah,
German suplex off the fucking back of a
German
pyramid.
suplex. Yeah.
Absolutely happy
Um,
with that.
yeah, yeah. Was the vet the British guy? Was he in the last one?
I
Dan Stevens.
don't I don't recall him
He
being in.
must have been because they have so much history and they're in love with each other and stuff. And he would have been convenient in the last one.
Let me see. He
But he's
was
insufferable and not funny.
nope. This was his first
That's so
his first
weird.
Godzilla appearance.
There's so much implied backstory that, and I gave the movie credit. I was like, oh, I just wasn't listening during the last movie.
Yeah. Yeah,
But no,
no,
okay.
he comes across as if he has been in these movies before,
Yeah,
but no, he hasn't. He just comes in, does a bit of dentistry work on Kong, and
yeah.
then gives him
And
a
I
power
really
glove.
liked it. I like that idea. I was like, oh, like a Titan vet. That's cool. It has to exist, probably.
Yeah,
Like someone's got to do it.
yeah. He's just like, well, hey, I mean, it's the same as working on a normal size monkey.
Yeah,
You just
but
gotta just
bigger. Yeah.
times it by 100.
And then I was just like, oh yeah, whatever. And then he's just convenient to give Kong his fuck, give Kong his robot hand.
Yeah, just give him the old power glove.
Which oh man, so lucky it was in that first base that was just around the corner. Thank God, that was so lucky.
Lucky he could just run back and
Yeah,
load it up on a new ship and bring it over.
Yeah,
and in ample time before anything bad would have happened.
I do like the first time Kong and Scar King. The first time they fight, it looks like Revenge of the Sith. Like it's all like tribal and there's lava and shit. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, no, it does look sick. What's your like? So speaking to CGI and that, what's your thoughts of the actual like the big monster fights themselves? So there's two that you sort of look at is the anti-gravity fighting, and then obviously the big like last fight on Earth side.
On the Earth side, yeah, which I don't know, maybe it looked very similar to the Mecha Godzilla one.
Hmm.
Like it looked like they were in the same town, but maybe that's just me not remembering the last one. Yeah, it's fine. I like the way they team up as well, like the way they utilize each other.
Yeah,
Um, I like that Godzilla, despite how much he hates King Kong, lets him ride on his back.
yeah,
That's sick. Free mount. Yeah, it's fine. It's all right. There's
yeah,
a lot of noise. There's a lot going on, which is where my Transformers comparison comes in. It's all a bit okay. This is
yeah,
just happening. There are things smashing into each other with no real consequence until there is some consequence.
mm,
Um, I don't know. It's fine. It does nothing for me.
yeah.
Just absolutely does not ignite a single flame within me.
No,
Seeing shit like this
that's completely
too
fine.
much. And I watched our Godzilla vs Kong episode again, and I whinged about how there's too much. They just look into the camera and roar.
Yeah,
Like, okay, that's cool to like. That's cool as an establishing thing. Like they're just so untethered with their rage that they have to let it out. But then when they do it for the 18th time, I'm like, all right, how do you just punch someone again?
yeah, and and
I'm
and
sick of seeing this.
and there is a lot of that, like in this one as well, where it's just look down the camera, um,
Showing off the models, which are
just
impressive, sure, cool. It just serves nothing for the purpose of the action sequence.
yeah, yeah, exactly right. Um, but I think like big spectacles look great in these big fight scenes themselves. But I think that's really the main thing you can take away from these films is just big monsters fighting.
Yeah.
And I I I don't know sort of where the future lies in these Monsterverse films, because they all sort of like they're all sort of following the same similar formula, but they're all kind of doing the same thing anyway.
Yeah. They
I
just got to
think,
keep inventing new titans, I guess, to fight.
yeah, well, it's going to be a matter of are they going to start to bring in like the already known Godzilla characters from all the Japanese releases? Like
Yeah.
you've got a massive roster of big monsters to bring over, which could look good like in today's CGI world. Back then they were all practical monsters and that people in suits,
Yeah.
much like your OG Power Rangers and that. So if you have a big CGI budget now, imagine what like Biollante could look, what Ghidorah could look, what any creatures, any monsters that have been used in the Toho world could look incredible. But again, what do you do in a story?
Yeah.
Because
They have to have a reason to be there. And they
like
have to be a reason to either team up Godzilla and Kong or make them adversaries again.
yeah,
Can you imagine showing anyone who worked on the original Godzilla or King Kong movies, like from the fucking 1870s, just showing them the suplex? If any of them were still,
it'd be
what the
great.
fuck are you doing with my character?
It'd be great. They'd be like, we've been doing this shit for 70 years and you just come in and make him
Yeah.
fucking suplex a big monkey. What the fuck are you doing?
My pitch for the next one is Mecha Kong because they've already done Mecha Godzilla. Make a robot monkey, but they've
Yeah,
already
I
done
mean,
that with
it's
Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. So
yeah. At what point do you just go, Beast Wars, Beast Wars?
yeah, just do Beast Wars again.
Literally. But yeah, like there's
Scar
many
King is not a
things.
threat. There is no threat within Scar King, and he's not as imposing as King Kong or
No,
Godzilla.
no, no, no. He's
And I
literally
know, yeah,
the only thing he had was
control over,
he controlled an ice dragon,
yeah,
and that's
which
all he had.
ultimately is his comeuppance.
Exactly right.
Like a yeah,
Um, but yeah, so the future, I don't know. Like they're gonna keep making them anyway. The big money spectacles. They're gonna do a lot of money on advertising and promotion. But I think there's nothing they can do that's gonna pave the way to have this new monsterverse that's gonna captivate a larger scale audience.
yeah.
Um,
Getting new people in is going to be really hard.
yeah,
I think it
like
already is.
I like they just need to. I think now after getting Godzilla minus one, they can probably look at that and hopefully take some notes on one how to do a human plot,
Mhm.
and then also have a very death and destructive Godzilla,
An actual
and
threat.
yeah, make it absolutely threatening and make him the bad guy again,
Mhm.
and not just a comic bad guy. But yeah, I don't know. These movies still aren't 5-star movies for me. Like I think I gave this 3.5 stars. It's just it's for me. It's fun to watch. I still enjoy it, but it's not. It's they're not doing what Godzilla minus one did for me, because for me that was a 5-star movie,
Mhm.
and these are just fun to watch, good monster fights, but it's just not there
Yeah.
as a solid movie. But
This is McDonald's to Godzilla's Godzilla minus one's like fucking 3-course banquet.
yeah,
Beautifully prepared. Like this is just like, fuck it, eat your slop. You'll probably get something out of it. You'll enjoy it while you're watching it, but you
yeah,
probably won't ever
exactly.
think about it again.
Yeah, they're like, we know you're gonna watch it. Like you drive past us all the time, and you go, yeah, we'll go in and get one. We'll go in
Yeah,
and get one. And so you
it's
do,
there.
and then you go,
Whatever.
I wish I didn't get that, but you know what? I did, so fuck it, whatever it is. But yeah, anyway, Godzilla Kong, the New Empire, out in cinemas. If you want to watch it, if you like big monsters fighting, you will enjoy the CGI, as we both said, is probably the best parts of this film. Um, Human plot sucks as always,
So bad.
and it's just don't expect anything amazing.
How much
Um,
after the bit where the daughter's like, "You are my home," and she's like, "Wherever you go, I go. You are my home." I
yeah.
walked out. I left. How much more movie was left after that?
Oh, like what?
Is
Like when
that
she
the end?
when she says because the mum thinks that she's gonna
Yeah, the
stay
mum's like,
with
"Oh,
the tribe.
obviously you're gonna say."
That was it.
Okay, good.
No, that was literally it. So you left
As
straight
soon as I
after.
heard "You are my home," I was like, I can't do it anymore. I just cannot.
Yeah, no, no,
Like,
you're all
my
good.
stomach was upside down because I was.
Yep, and no post credit scene, no mid credit scene, so nothing after that to think
So
we.
where this was probably in the bit I saw, but where do they both end up? Godzilla's still in Rome, just having a nap.
Yeah, Godzilla literally goes back to the Coliseum, curls up like a little puppy in a bed, and
That's
just
very cute.
goes
It's
goes
very
to
cute.
sleep with his new radiating
Yeah.
powers.
So what does
Um,
Kong do?
Kong goes back to the Hollow Earth, but into the further part where all the apes are.
Okay.
He goes back with Shimo,
Oh yeah, yeah.
now completely free.
Mhm.
So the understanding here is Kong now has quote unquote a family, big apes with him again.
Yeah,
So obviously they're all sort of enslaved by Scar King, and
yeah. It was like a
uh,
dictatorship.
yeah, yeah. So probably now
Kong's a nice guy.
he'll probably bring them back up to his Hollow Earth surface and be like, "Yo, this is a real Hollow Earth. Let's all live in peace and harmony, and Shimo can run wild and
Yeah.
do whatever she wants to do."
And
And
that's the coinciding thing is Kong feels out of place. He hasn't seen another monkey in
mm,
this long. The daughter feels disconnected from outside of her tribe.
yeah, basically, it basically ends the exact same as Godzilla versus Kong. They
Yeah,
both find their respective world to live in, and that's the end of it.
find their purpose.
They give you nothing to go. What could happen after that? Because
They
as
probably
it
didn't
is,
know how this would do. And especially
and
after minus one came out and fucking crushed it. Nobody expected minus one to do as well in Western audiences as it did.
yep,
So when they saw that win the Oscar and do so well, they must have been like, fuck me. Now,
minus a
yeah,
Godzilla film won an Oscar.
yeah,
Let's just a Godzilla film
yeah.
made in Japan won an Oscar. The visual effects on a less than $15 million budget.
Yeah. And it was just people like after work, they would go and work on this movie and it won a fucking Oscar. It's crazy. Well
My
done.
fucking people, my
Good
fucking
work.
people. So yeah, future of this world, who knows? They'll probably do more.
They will
Um,
definitely make more. They just
regardless. They always say, "Oh, it depends on how this one does," and you go, "Shut up! Just say you're doing another one.
Yeah,
It's gonna happen."
we know.
So yeah, who knows what's gonna happen from there? But yeah, that's Godzilla Kong the New Empire. Um, and I think after this now we've got some newer
We got
movies
some
coming out.
stuff happening.
There's what we've got, Monkey Man
Monkey Man's this week,
this week, and the
which
week after.
I've been avoiding the trailer, but it played before this, and now I've seen the whole movie, which sucks. Um,
Yeah.
uh,
But
Planet of the Apes, whenever that comes out.
I think that's still got a bit of a time on it.
Is
There
it
is Late Night with the Devil.
Oh, can't wait.
I'm very excited for that.
We love David Dastmalchian here.
And just the way that movie looks is,
and we love dinky little horror movies. So let's
dinky
go.
little horror movies, and when they get a cinematic release, it's just absolutely mwah.
I'm so glad it's actually playing here. Adam and I live in like a regional town, if you don't know, so we don't get everything down here.
Yeah.
So to get a little A24 movie like that is like kind of a big deal because you had to drive like fucking 2 hours to see Godzilla.
Yeah, well, the fucking Campbelltown.
Yeah.
Just that's the last place I was showing.
A big city.
Exactly. I had to
pack my briefcase.
But yeah, so there's stuff coming out. So there'll be a few episodes on the horizon. We know a few of you are going to really enjoy seeing that there. All right. Thanks for joining us again, guys. It's always good to come back and do this and treat your minds with our absolutely New York Times best-selling author-esque review styles.
Extremely well researched, extremely knowledgeable. That's the you like that guarantee.
Well, that's it. We come into this completely raw. Like, we don't want a script. We don't have to follow notes. No. We want this to be the most unhinged, raw shit you'll ever hear.
State-of-the-art technology, 2 computers just barely hanging on to their
barely hanging on by a thread. But you know what? We get it done and get it out to you guys. So until we see you all on the next one, this has been the You Like That podcast, hosted by me. My name's Adam, one half of You Like That podcast.
My name's Jack. I've been the other half of the You Like That podcast.
And we'll see you all guys in the next one.
This is a stupid show.